When I say Dead by Daylight, what's the first thing that pops in your head? Maybe it's the balancing of the game, or perhaps a very friendly and non-toxic community. Yeah, let's be honest, it's not that. Or you don't play the game, so you just think it's a game that just exists. For me, when I think of this game, I think of the various licenses that it has. And let's be honest, without the Halloween chapter in 2016, Dead by Daylight will be the same game that is now. And after that licenses, we got more. At first it was just horror movies, licenses like Saw, Scream, Texas Chainsaw Massacres, and others. Then we got other type of horror media like TV series, video games, and even anime recently. This type of collabs is why I love Dead by Daylight. Now don't get me wrong, I also like and even love some original content, stuff like All Things Wicked, Forging the Fog, Chains of Hate are chapters that have killers that I love. But licenses is always something that gets me excited. They could announce something that legit don't care, I don't know about, I think it's boring, but at least makes me interested about them and want to learn more about them. That's why I like them. So after I say this, what are the objectives of this video? Simple, I'm gonna make a killer concept for a licensed character that's not in the roster but could be in the roster. I'm gonna talk about their power, add-ons, perks, and other stuff. This is something that I like doing. I like always think about what killer could be, what's the character, what's their power, you know, super fun. So why not make a video about this? I made 3 rules that are gonna follow at least one of them. They are, it has to be from a horror media, could be a horror movie, horror series, horror game, anything like that. It can be from media that's not 100% horror, like for example we have Castlevania and Tomb Raider. It can be from something that's not horror at all, and I do mean at all, but could fit in this game. This was just for fun, because without that, I think the video would be kinda, not generic, but like, predictable, you know what I mean? So, who's the killer, you might ask? Well, I first searched for the most bloodlust, terrifying, messed up killer. One shadows to imagine one inhuman force lie behind their head. Someone with fear incarnated. That being is none other than... Do you guys like Team Fortress 2? Yep. I chose Pyro. Yes! Pyro! The funny guy from the shooter game. Why Pyro? Well, I thought it would be funny and interesting if I would pick someone that's not horror, and I mean horror at all, but could fit in the game. Figuratively speaking, actually. And with this, we're gonna begin the video. I was trying to say that this video is not to be taken seriously whatsoever. It's just for fun, and feel free to let me know if you agree, disagree, or you have any ideas you would like to change, like the part you don't like it or something. Just for fun. This is something that I do and I love and I want to share with you guys. So, without further ado, let's begin. To get the power right, you need to understand the basis of Pyro. He's a pyromaniac that sees the world very different from anybody else. He talks with a muffled voice and has a passion for fire-related stuff. You could even say he has a burning passion. I'm sorry about that one. He's forced a nature that everybody fears and even questions if even he's human.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Now let's start this concept. The Pyro. The name is very simple. The Pyromaniac could work too, but the Pyro is just more iconic and more unique compared to like just a basic ass name. Power. Burning tools. For his power is switched between weapons, and the player has to choose the weapon to the situation. Kinda like a Vecna and Dracula situation when you switch the power. You start the trials with a fire axe and can switch between 2 weapons, such being the flamethrower and the flare gun. The fire axe pretty much your default state. You always gonna start a trial and with this weapon, and pretty much your normal basic attack kill with no power. The flamethrower is his main weapon, so the power is gonna be around that. When you have the flamethrower out, you can spray fire in a 3-meter range in front of you. Hitting survivors with it will not injure them, instead give them oomph charge. Oomph is kinda like Plague, where the more you spray a survivor, the more they gain. Unlike Plague, however, when you get it full, instead of injuring the survivor, a timer will start. When the timer starts, the survivor will start burning and they have 30 seconds to put the fire out, or they will get injured when the timer runs out. To put the fire out, they have to find a water supply highlighted on the map. Once they use that water supply, that will be blocked for all survivors for a certain amount of time. While they are burning, they will probably scream until the flames are extinguished. The flames can also affect pallets and breakable walls. When you use it on a drop pallet or breakable wall, it will catch on fire for 5 seconds. After those 5 seconds, it will be destroyed. Survivors who touch a burning object will get more oomph charge. Pyro can destroy those objects to get haste for 2 seconds. The flamethrower and the burning aspect is the main gimmick of Pyro, so of course the powers are on that, because let's be honest, Pyro with no flamethrower or fire-related weapons isn't Pyro, that's just a guy with a gas mask. It's not like they're gonna put a killer that is going to be cocky onto the survivors and just make him silence and just make him laugh or something. That would be very dumb. There is this aspect that I forgot to mention about his power, but I'll talk about that when we talk about the second weapon, that being the flare gun. The flare gun is Pyro's second main weapon. It's the aspect of his power that players need to know about most. The flare gun pretty much does the same thing as the flamethrower, however he has two aspects that the flamethrower doesn't have, one being range. The flare gun, just like in the original game, shoots a projectile that burns anything it touches. It works similar to a known projectile, but with no explosion and doesn't pierce. But the other aspect is it can hurt burning survivors. If a survivor has full oomph charge, the flare gun will injure the survivor or down them if they are already injured. The flare gun is going to be used to get pressure on faraway survivors and hurt them in some cases. Now we talk about the one thing that Pyro needs to be able to use his Pyro, that being ammo. Like in the original game, weapons have ammo that are used when shoot. So I'm putting that aspect in this kit. Flamethrower has 200 ammo and the flare gun has 16. You use ammo when you shoot at a respective weapon, and to get ammo back you have to, you guessed it, do the job as a killer. To be more specific, you have to hook survivors to get ammo back. The ammo is dropped when you hook a survivor. Depending on the hook stage of the survivor, you get a certain amount. First hook is 30 for flamethrower, 6 for flare gun. Second is 20 for flamethrower and 4 for flare gun. And third is 10 for flamethrower and 2 for flare gun. This is based on the aspect of Team Fortress 2, where you limit someone, they drop ammo. I put the ammo aspect in this kit to make it more interesting than just another switch stance killer, if you know what I mean. Because I feel like if you have some kind of management of a power, kind of like Myers when you stock someone, they can't run out of stock. I think that could be similar to the weapons and actually could make it interesting in a way like you have to manage the weapons. If you don't, well, you kind of screwed. And for his Mori, it's very simple, but still recognizable for the people that know the Pyro. He starts by shooting the survivor with flare gun, knocking them out on the ground. While they are burning and screaming, the Pyro just watches for a brief second. Then for the finishing blow, he pulls out the fire axe and just bashes onto their skull, and that, well, kills them. I took inspiration from the Meet the Pyro video, where he kinda does the same thing. You could do other stuff for his Mori, like just could make the survivor burn and Pyro just cheer up, because he just loves seeing what he's doing. But I feel like this could work. Now we're gonna talk about his add-ons. Add-ons gonna be tricky because I had to figure out an add-on that could not be repetitive and not be like too boring or too useless. But this is the best I can do. Anyways, common add-ons. Broken Dispenser, gain 5 more ammo from hooking survivors. Sniper Hat, gain 2 meters range on a flare gun. Gas Passer, oomph charge lasts for additional 2 seconds. Extra Scraps, gain 1 meter range on a flamethrower. Uncommon add-ons. Backburner, survivors are burning, suffer mobility status effect. Medic Glasses, lasts 1 second on burning pallets or breakable walls to break. Scout's Shoes, increase the haste after breaking a burning pallet. Power Jack, increase the recovery speed after destroying burning pallets. Degreaser, increase faster weapon switch. Rare add-ons. Spice Cigarette, gain undetectable after hooking a burning survivor for 10 seconds. Scorch Shot, gain splash damage on the flare gun. Demo Man High Patch, after destroying a burning pallet, survivors are revealed for 3 seconds in an 8 meter range. The Detonator, decrease flare gun cooldown by 20%. Sharpened Volcano Fragment, reveal the aura of the survivor who extinguishes the fire for 3 seconds. Very rare add-ons. Thermal Thruster, increase the duration of the haze after breaking a burning pallet. Neon Annihilator, after surviving extinguishes the fire, they are exposed for 10 seconds. Heavy's Belt, reduces pallet stun while carrying the flamethrower. Engineer's Helmet, increases ammo given by 10. Iridescent add-ons. As Extinguisher, survivors who are burning are exposed, less ammo on both weapons. Phlogistonator, flamethrower can now hurt survivors who are burned, less ammo on the flamethrower. And that is for the power. I did the add-ons referencing, the game, because I feel like most of the time add-ons are objects that the killer knows or feels something about. I don't really know specific, but it's kind of the ideal. And it's specifically based on the weapons that Pyro can have in Team Fortress 2, which that makes it, like, to be honest, the add-ons a little bit easier. Now for the perks. There's 3 perks, as usual, and I also add a little quote on the bottom, like some quotes have them to reference their media, in a way. Flaming Presence. When a gen is complete, everyone inside the terror radius will scream and be revealed for 3 seconds.
I ain't talking about that freak, alright? He's not here, is he? How do I get this fucking thing off?
Of terror. When you break a pallet or kick a gen, all survivors in the 4-meter range will get the Wizard's effect for 30 seconds.
I fear no man, but that thing. It scares me.
Hex dreams of cruelty and sustained cruelty. When you hook a survivor, this perk activates. Anytime a survivor gets injured, they are revealed for 2 seconds.
One shudders to imagine what inhuman thoughts lie behind that mask.
And that does it for the main part of the killer. This content took me a while, especially the atoms and perks, because I had to find a way to make them unique, but not too boring. I probably made some stuff either useless or too overpowered, or meh, but again, this video is just for entertainment purposes, so there's no problem with that. Now, you should be done, right? Well, there's one more category that is kind of small compared to this, but still important to talk about it. We're gonna talk about next.
Now what?
This category is pretty much the other aspects when a killer is added, that being the cosmetics, map, and maybe survivors. For cosmetics, it's very easy, just give him a blue outfit representing the blue team, and an outfit based on the robot Pyro from the Man vs Machine game mode. And of course he's going to have some cosmetics from his hats and cosmetics from Team Fortress 2. But to be honest, I'm not going to talk about that, because it's too many hats, too many cosmetics, and if I try to be specific, I don't think it would work. So it could work, but I'm not gonna say it here because there's too many combinations, you know. And the other thing that's kinda an interesting one, it's gonna be a free one, if it happens. That being the Pyrovision goggles. The Pyrovision goggles are pretty much, you put them on and you see what Pyro sees. So that could be pretty much you play Dead by Daylight in kid-friendly mode. I'm being serious, just look at this. And don't get me wrong, people will be like, I don't like this and that, that's fine. But I feel like a cool detail that could be worth it when using these goggles is the Mori. Because Pyro sees different from everybody else, the Mori could be very different. I feel like they could just change the flames to rainbows, the axe to a lollipop, you know what I mean. For maps, there's a lot of iconic maps like Dust Bowl and Two Fort, but to be honest, I don't think any of the maps fit in Dead by Daylight. Same for survivors, and I had the idea of Spy being the survivor because Pyro is literally every single Spy main worst nightmare, but ultimately scrap it because I thought it would make sense. I said that there's all the card who's dying to a killer half the size of a pallet. And we're done. This was my Pyro content video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. This video is actually quite simple, so I'm not gonna be stressful about it because, to be honest, I'm not really that much of, you know, YouTuber yet. So if you guys like this, just let me know. I only do these videos for fun. I'm gonna do variety content as well. So let me know if you want more of this or you don't. That's fine. And have a nice day or night, depending on where you are. And see you next time. Goodbye.